Welcome to your Thoughtful Thursday. What I want to talk about today is failing. I really love this concept that we've been talking about a lot in body in general, just in the whole company. The idea that failing is not an end, right? That failing is a part of the process to success. And I think it's really great when we all as a group understand and start coming to the realization that there's never going to be a time that we don't fail in terms of, our nutrition or a workout, missing a workout, going off nutrition. For me, that's my wine. And understanding the language around that, right? Because failing is really a first attempt in learning, right? So it's a part of the process. There's no Olympian that ever got to that gold medal without a ton of failure, okay? And we need to look at that as a bump in the road. And the reality is, fail is a hard word because it's very, very negative. But the reality is, you're not failing yourself if we make a mistake, right? It's just part of it. And, we really work a lot in this group, which I love. We work a lot on how we fail, right? And not looking at it as a failure and looking at it as a learning opportunity, right? So if what's pulling you off all the time is chocolate at night, then you have to look at that failure or that bump in the road and start learning from that so that you can change that behavior, right? Or, and the idea too, that it's not a failure when you plan to go off plan, right? That is not a failure. If it's your birthday and you're having cake and some champagne or wine, that is not a failure. That is a choice to live life. And we should embrace that, right? We can't be at 100% on perfect nutrition all the time. But there is a balance in that. And I want to talk a little bit about that too. I know this is a longer one, guys, but there's a lot of thoughts in my head around this. And part of that is understanding that it's okay to fail occasionally and get back up and learn from that and to move forward from that. It is okay to fail at a meal here and there and understand that that is just a bump in the road and we're going to get back on tomorrow, right? But you have to understand that the more often you fail, the further and further away your goal gets from you, okay? So what you're trying to do is getting to a point where the failures are further and further apart. And as you do that, what you're going to find is your consistency is going to get better. Your consistency with your workouts is going to get better because you're going to fail less and less at missing those. Does that make sense? When you go off your nutrition, you're going to fail less and less. So you are going to be on nutrition much more than you're failing at nutrition. And that's where that success starts to come from. Because we do have to understand that being healthy is a part of most of the time being consistent with your workouts, most of the time being on great nutrition. And then if you continue to stay with that, you start learning that you feel better when you do that. And you feel better when you're consistent with workouts. You feel better when you're on good nutrition, and it gets less and less difficult, right? So this all goes into just such a huge package that we have to talk about. But one of the big things I want to talk about today is releasing the fear of failure, right? Let's stop fearing that so badly. Let's just understand that it's part of the process. Let's embrace it. Let's learn from it. Let's move forward from it, right? And let's understand that we can recover from that easily, especially with the support of this group, and continue to move forward, because I don't ever want the failure, that moment, to be an end. Let's make it a temporary thing, get it out of the way, and then keep moving forward. Okay, so drop your thoughts in the comments here. I know it's a big one. I'm going to hit it in the Mega Motivator a couple times, but I really just want to talk about failure, fear of failure, and how that holds many of us back from moving forward in our health and wellness journey. All right, I love you guys, and let's fail together. Let's do that together and understand that we're here to lift each other up and be positive and move forward as we continue living a healthier, better life together.